Pregnancy should be a time of joy and not anxiety for the woman and her family. Do you want to learn more about pregnancy or have questions about fertility and reproductive health? Then join Dr. Linda Vanutu on Facebook and YouTube every Saturday at 4 p.m. on the Online Pregnancy School as she discusses pregnancy, delivery, and childcare with experts.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, it is time to come your way with the Online Pregnancy School. I hope you are doing well and also benefiting from what we have been sharing so far. If you have not yet done that, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and also turn on the notification bell so that you will not miss any of the programs we bring your way. And please remember to share and share and share and let others join in this journey of helping to reduce preventable maternal and newborn deaths. In our previous sessions, we have spoken about how people can prepare for pregnancy. And today, it is a pleasure for me to continue with what people can do at home as they are pregnant and as we look forward to a good pregnancy outcome. So join me. Today, we are going to look at some tips for pregnant women. What can they do? Is there anything that they can do whilst they are at home to ensure that they enjoy their pregnancies and also have a good outcome? And I'm going to focus my discussion today on weight, the weight that the pregnant woman gains and how she can manage that at home as she goes for the antenatal and as she does what the hospital asks her to do. Stay with me. My name is Dr. Linda Vanutu, and it is always a pleasure to come your way with the Online Pregnancy School. Okay, there are some women who think that when they are pregnant, they have to eat for two. So if you are pregnant with twins, then does it mean you are going to eat for three? No, it doesn't mean that. So when you are pregnant, yes, your child inside you is depending on you for the food to grow and for other things that this child needs to grow and develop well. So you have to be concerned about what you eat because this child is depending on you. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you are eating for two. So if you eat one bowl of whatever as an individual, now that you are pregnant, you have to eat 2 bowls of that. No, it doesn't mean that. So what can we do? Now, we all know that when we go to the hospital as pregnant women, we are asked to stand on the scale and they take your weight to check what your weight is like. If you knew your weight before you became pregnant, that would be helpful. But if you did not know, that's okay, because the first time you go for the antenatal, they will check your weight and use that going forward to help you to maintain a very good weight. So don't worry if you did not know your weight before you became pregnant. Now, there are a couple of things that are needed even before pregnancy. And in my last session where I spoke about preparing to become pregnant, I mentioned some of them. One of them is folic acid. It is needed. So you find that even before pregnancy, women or young ladies are advised to take folic acid so that they prepare for pregnancy. And the reason is that it helps to prevent a certain kind of abnormality in the newborn, in the child, when it is born. So that is very important. Another thing that is needed is calcium. And then we also need iron. And I also said that some women enter pregnancy with very low blood level. They are anemic. So you find that folate, iron, and then calcium are very important in pregnancy. And these will be given to you when you go for the antenatal. Now, I'm looking at the whole length of pregnancy, which is 9 months. And 9 months is not just 36 weeks. It is more than that. Pregnancy can last for up to about 40 weeks plus or minus 2. So it happens that it is a long period. And during this time, one has to eat well. But somebody will be wondering, what kind of weight am I supposed to gain within this period? And this is what we are going to talk about today. So that is what we're going to talk about today, the weight of the pregnant woman during pregnancy. Now, during the first 3 months of pregnancy, we do not gain so much weight because that time the baby is so tiny, so small, very, very, very small. So you do not see that you have gained a lot of weight. But then as pregnancy goes on, you see that you are gaining weight. So how much weight should you gain? Throughout the whole of pregnancy, you gain about 12.5 kilograms. So this is what is worked with. But all these depend on a number of factors. For example, as I said, your weight before you became pregnant. If that is known, it will be used. And then also at the time that you are pregnant, you are assessed. There's something that we call the BMI, and that one, they look at your weight and your height and calculate it. So depending on where you are, maybe you are too small, you are average, normal, or you are big. And when that is found, it will be used to help you in determining how much weight you can gain. So it is a range. So when women are pregnant, they are checked. Anytime you go for antenatal, you find that your weight will be checked, and the midwife or the doctor can talk to you about that, whether you are within the range or you are too slim, too light, or not up to the weight that you should be, or you are above the weight. Then they will use that to counsel you. So it's important that we maintain a good weight when we are pregnant, and there are various reasons for that. One of them is that if you are too small, lower than the weight that is good for you, then it means you are not getting enough, and the child would also not be getting enough. So this child will not grow well, will have what we call restrictive growth. That child will not grow well. The child will not be the weight and the form that the child should be before he or she is born, and that will affect this child's chances of coming out alive and even growing well in the future. If it happens that you are also very big and the child is also very big, that will also affect the outcome of pregnancy, because one, delivery can be a challenge. If you are big, the baby is also very big, then this baby coming out may be a problem, especially if you do not have access to a skilled birth attendant when you go into labor. That can be a challenge for you, because that child might have to be delivered by cesarean section. The other thing is that if the child is very big, this child would also be prone to some other diseases and conditions in the future as this child grows. So it's important that we maintain a good weight when we are pregnant. So then, what can we do at home? One of the things is that you have to plan for your meals. The food you eat should contain all the nutrients that we need. We have different types of food. We have the carbohydrates, we have the proteins, we have the fats and oils, we have the fruits, vegetables, all these things. So the food you eat must contain these food items. And that means that there are various sources that you can use. So if you plan your food, that today I'm going to eat this, based on what you have available for you, then it will be good. But there are some suggestions. One of them is that we have to have very healthy sources. Healthy sources mean that whatever you are taking into your body must give you the nourishment you need without giving you other conditions or complications. So we can talk about beans. Beans are very good. Beans are good sources of protein, so you can have them, and depending on where you live, You can have different ways of preparing the beans. So you can have beans. Eggs are also good. Remember when we spoke about some of the beliefs and practices in pregnancy, we said that in some communities, they do not allow the pregnant women to eat eggs because they think that the child will be born a thief. This child will become a thief in future, or because the egg is so smooth, this child will not have any hair. The child will be bald. So there are several reasons why people don't want to eat eggs, but eggs are also very good sources of good protein for the pregnant woman. The other thing you can eat is fish. And in some communities, we have fish that are so small. Some people can grind into powder form and add to their porridges or add to the soup or whatever stew or meal they prepare. They add that. That is also very good. Now, the other one is the dairy products, milk and the rest. But every time when we talk about what you can eat as a pregnant woman, we want you to know what is available to you. We don't want you to be spending a lot of money which may not be possible to buy things when you can get the same nutrient from something that is close to you. So please, just look around you. It is important that you eat what is available to you. Green leafy vegetables are available in almost every place. They might be different from one community to the other, but they are available. So within your community, if you know of the green leafy vegetable that is easily available, please use that in your meal. It is important. Use that in your meal because that will be very helpful. So be sure to eat food that is available to you in your area. Do not spend a lot of money going to look for food that is not available or that is not easily accessible to you, because you can get food around that also has enough of what you have to get for the time that you are pregnant. Now, the other thing that we encourage pregnant women to do at home is please do not depend so much on processed foods unless you are craving for it so badly that you can't do anything about that. But it is important to eat fresh food. If it is vegetable, if it is food that you are cooking, it is good that you use fresh foods, because you don't know what has gone into that processed food. Whether that is harmful to your baby or not may not be stated on it. So we encourage you to kindly eat what is available. Today we are talking about tips for the pregnant woman, and we are looking at the weight of the pregnant woman. This is the online pregnancy school. If you have not yet subscribed, please go ahead and do that. Now, we also encourage you to drink a lot of water. Some people find it very difficult drinking water. What you can do is to flavor it a bit. You can put a little bit of ginger in it. Ginger is okay. You put a little bit of it so that you can drink. So make it a point to drink water. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you have just joined us, this is the online pregnancy school, and I'm talking about tips for the pregnant woman. Today we are looking at the weight that the woman has to gain throughout pregnancy. It has to be within the normal range for the benefit of the mother and also for the baby. So it's important that we do that. Now, let us look at some of the things that can happen. Somebody might say that I'm pregnant, yes. The first 3 months, I am suffering. I'm vomiting, I have nausea, I can't even eat. But you are talking about the weight and what we should eat. So what should I do? Now, even if you are vomiting or you have nausea, there's still something you can do to help you. Because remember that what you eat is important for yourself and for the baby. So if you are vomiting or you have the desire to vomit, you have the urge to vomit, that is the nausea, then what we recommend is that as soon as you wake up, don't even get out of your bed. You nibble or you eat something that is not sweet. We have some cookies or biscuits that are bland. They don't taste nice at all. You can put a bit of that in your mouth in the morning when you wake up. As soon as you wake up, you can put a little bit of that into your mouth. And there's sometimes we even have the locally made ones. They don't add sugar. It is almost tasteless, so to speak. So you can put that one in your mouth. Eat a bit of that before you get out of your bed. That is very helpful. So we can do that. Now, the other thing is that even at that stage where you have the nausea and the rest, it's still important that what you eat is nutritious. So you can eat some whole grain meal. And some of them, we have the whole grain bread, whole wheat bread. If you have that, you can eat that. Corn is also good. So if you are where we grow corn, you can use corn in different forms. You can use it for porridge. You can use it for different things. So you can make meals out of that. Now, if you are going to eat porridge in the morning, then you can add some nuts. If you're okay with it, you don't react to it, you are not allergic to it, then you can add some nuts to that. The other thing you can do is you can make beans and corn mixed together, grind that, and then use it for porridge. We even give that to children. Very nutritious. You can do that. And remember, I spoke about fish. The other thing you can do is to have the fish powder, add it to the porridge as you prepare your porridge, and eat that. That is also very nutritious. So you can eat some of these things and you will get very good results because they are nutritious. Now remember, you have to eat breakfast every day. So once you have eaten that biscuit or whatever that is not sweet, then later on you can have your meal, the breakfast. And I said that eggs are also good. So if you are somewhere, you can make the porridge with the corn and then add egg. But the egg must be cooked well. Please, as a pregnant woman, do not eat raw food because you can get infected out of that and that can affect your child as well. So you can have the porridge, you can mix it with groundnuts, you can mix it with anything that you want, you feel like eating at that time. Or you can also boil an egg or whatever you want to do with the egg. You do that and you add it. Then you can add the bread. As I said, the whole wheat bread is also good for you. Then again, as you try to do this, do not eat a lot at a sitting if you have nausea or you are vomiting. We recommend that you eat a little at a time, so more frequently. So instead of eating morning, afternoon, and evening, you can have a little in the morning, late morning, you can have a little more, lunchtime, you can have a little, something that you can tolerate. Don't eat too much of it because if you do that, you may be tempted to vomit and you will not have the benefit of the food. So eat a little at a time. Now, we also encourage you to continue drinking water, please. As I said, if it is challenging to drink the water just like that, you can add a little bit of ginger to flavor it. And ginger also helps with the nausea. So you can do that. Because if you do not drink water, you can become dehydrated and that will affect your energy and also affect the whole body, the way the blood will flow to yourself and to the child. So that is not good enough. If you are vomiting or you have the nausea, but you still have the tablets that you are given at the antenatal to take, it's recommended that you take the tablet whilst you are eating. So it goes together. And you are trying to drink water, you are trying to eat, and you're also trying to take your tablet so that you get the benefit. I hope it's okay. So these are some of the things you can do at home. Another thing you can do that will help with the weight. Remember, we are talking about the weight and we are helping to look at what we can do at home. And another thing that can trigger nausea and vomiting is to do with the environment. So as you look at the food that you are eating, you also have to check your environment. Some people, as soon as they smell a kind of perfume or deodorant or spray, any kind of spray, they start vomiting. So if you are in an environment like this, please let your people be aware that I am in the state where I do not want this smell near me. So some people, when they were pregnant, the husband had to use the perfume outside the house. You can do that. So make sure that you look at the environment, and please, anything that will trigger the nausea or vomiting, check it and take it out of your way. And then it's also encouraged that you find time to relax, because a relaxed body will help to reduce the nausea and vomiting. And what do we mean by that? If you are working, the body will let you know when I am tired. So we encourage you that take time off. Take time off. Even if you are working in an institution, everybody has leave days. So you can take some of the days off when you feel so tired, because that will trigger the nausea and vomiting. And take time to rest. And then also you have to have good air, fresh air. When you are in a room that is stuffy with so many things, the air is not blowing so well, the nausea becomes worse. You might even vomit. So we encourage that whilst you are at home, be in an area that has a lot of air, which means that you can have the windows open. And I hope if you are in an area that has mosquitoes that can transmit malaria, then you make sure you have some netting that will prevent the mosquitoes from coming in, or you have a door, have a trap door, so that you can open the main door for the air to blow in. And you can also sit close to the window. Anywhere that you think you can have enough fresh air, do that. It will help to reduce the desire to vomit or the nausea. And then the other thing you can do whilst you're at home is to keep a clean environment. Your room, we know how sometimes we hang things all around. That can trap a lot of dust, that can make the room stuffy, difficult to breathe, make the nausea worse. So make sure that you keep the environment as clean as possible. Hope that is good enough, right? So we have looked at, if you are pregnant and you have nausea, or you are feeling like vomiting, or even vomiting, some of the things you can do. Looked at the food that you have to eat, and now we have looked at the environment. What are the other things that you can do? The other thing you can do is the alternate medicine. That one. Some people use what they call the acupressure. Some people even want to do exercises. And please, when you are doing exercises, be careful that you don't overdo the exercise. We'll talk about exercises in the future. We have spoken about exercises before, but to also help you to know some of the simple ones that you can do at home. But one of the simplest is walking or sitting and doing a bit of stretching. Not too difficult, not anything that will put a lot of stress on your tummy, not anything that will demand that you lie on your back or you lie on your tummy. That one is not acceptable. So if you are exercising, whichever form you are using, please make sure that you don't lie on your back and you also don't lie on your tummy. And there are very simple exercises which will teach you to do, but walking is okay. And with the walking, you can start, if you were not very active in terms of somebody who is an athlete or somebody who does a lot of exercises, you can start gradually. So even if it's 10 minutes that you can walk, do that. You start gently. Then the next day, you can add 5 minutes. You walk for about 15 minutes. If you're okay with it, the next day you can add on. And if you were walking very, very, very slowly from the beginning, every day try and add a little more speed. Anything that you can tolerate. If you feel exhausted, you feel very tired, then we encourage you to stop, because it means that is too much for you. So exercises are also good for you. We are talking about the weight. that we have to gain within pregnancy. And we have mentioned all these because they have effect on the weight that you gain during pregnancy. Remember that you would be measured, your weight will be measured when you go for the first antenatal, and they will use that to help you. But averagely, people gain about 0.5 kg from the 4th month going. Good. So let's continue. What else can we do at home? Now, another thing that bothers pregnant women is heartburn. Heartburn when you are not vomiting, but when you eat, it's as if the food is coming back, and sometimes you have this burning sensation in the chest, in the throat. What can you do? And this usually happens towards the end of pregnancy, in the 3rd trimester, and it's to do with the hormones which are causing the body to prepare to deliver, and some of the effects also come up to the stomach, and therefore the pipe where the food passes through to the stomach, and it affects it because the food now kind of as if it's coming back to you, coming out, but you are not vomiting, you just have this uncomfortable feeling. And we encourage that people wear loose dresses at that time. If you are pregnant, you are getting to that stage, do not wear the same kind, the size. Wear something that is free, where you can feel free in it, because anything that presses on the tummy would trigger that. So please do that. Also, we encourage that you avoid oily foods or food that is very spicy. That can also trigger the heartburn. So if you are in a place where they eat a lot of spices, towards that time, if you have heartburn, you can reduce it a bit to the level where when you eat the food, you do not have that. And if you use a lot of oil, which is not that good, you can minimize that and also make sure that you have enough and you do not have that challenge. And again, please, if you have heartburn, do not go to bed immediately after eating, or don't lie down immediately after eating. Sit for some time, let the food settle. And once you have sat down for some time, you can take a little walk, even inside your own room. You can do a bit of walking so that you have the food at least going down before you go to bed. It is important. And when you lie down, try to add pillows to the back, so your back is lifted, so that you don't lie down flat. And we have said that do not lie on your back. It's important to lie on your side, preferably the left side. So if you have heartburn, don't eat very close to the time that you are going to sleep. And when you sleep, support yourself with some pillows and also lie on the side. You can also be chewing some gum. If it is a big challenge, you can chew some gum, because then you produce more saliva, which would help to dilute the acid, help with salivation. All that will help you to reduce that heartburn. So that is another thing that you can do. Another thing that you can do at home is to avoid caffeinated drinks. So if you want to drink anything, it's important, if you can, to do it yourself. Then you are sure that you haven't added any caffeine to that drink. Sometimes I know pregnancy can be challenging. You have a craving for a kind of drink which may be caffeinated, but we want you to minimize that as much as possible. Take in more water, and you can flavor it with some ginger. That will be helpful as well. And also prepare to get into bed around the same time. Complete everything that you have to do. Do not, please, do not go to bed and then say that I'm going to check my emails or check my WhatsApp or check my messages. Do everything you want to do before you get into bed, so that you don't stay too long. And once you sleep, and you sleep very well, deeply, you find that it will reduce. So we encourage you, as you prepare to go to bed, make sure you have finished with everything. When you go into your bed, try to sleep as soon as possible. So if you sleep with the lights off, then as you are getting into your bed, make sure that your light is off. Make sure your television is not on to disturb you. Anything that will prevent you from falling asleep, please check it and make sure that you do not get that working whilst you are trying to sleep. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are talking about tips for the pregnant woman, and we are looking at the weight that this woman has to gain and what are some of the things that she can do to help her while she's pregnant. And we have looked at the food, we have looked at if you have nausea, we have looked at if you have heartburn, what can you do? And I hope that these tips will help you at home. If you're a pregnant woman listening to us, or if you know a pregnant woman, you can share this with her, and hopefully she will have some respite from the heartburn and also from nausea and vomiting, and maintain a good weight. If you have not yet done that, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. On Facebook, follow me, The Pregnancy School, and on YouTube, Dr. Linda Vanutu. And if you have any questions or comments for us, if you want us to explain any aspect of what we have discussed either now or in previous sessions, please put them in the comments section and we'll come back and answer them for you. And remember to like our page and also give us a thumbs up if this has been useful to you. In future discussions, we'll look at other aspects of weight gain. What can we do? And we'll be looking at exercises. Specifically, we'll look at exercises. So that is all for today. I hope you have enjoyed the session and you have learned a lot of things that you can practice at home to help you have a pleasant pregnancy and a good pregnancy outcome. My name is Dr. Vanutu, and it is always a pleasure coming your way with the Online Pregnancy School. See you in my next video. Have a wonderful day. Bye.
Pregnancy should be a time of joy and not anxiety for the woman and her family. Do you want to learn more about pregnancy or have questions about fertility and reproductive health? Then join Dr. Linda Vanutu on Facebook and YouTube every Saturday at 4 p.m. on the Online Pregnancy School as she discusses pregnancy, delivery, and childcare with experts.